What's going on YouTube? Reaction to Flacco. A lot of people like Flacco. I like Flacco's music. So, okay, Flock. Sorry. But yeah, check this out. This is crazy.
Been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though. Make my first official statement about it.
Talk to them, my dog. Soon come home, man.
We consider that to be self-defense.
On August 6th, 2026, New York rapper
They always be saying that soon coming on how? You gotta break through the case? Ain't no soon coming home for those charges, man.
K Flock was targeted inside of prison after news of a new release date being set. The news reads, K Flock had a court update today with his lawyers submitting new paperwork against his 5 guilty charges. If successful, the rapper will have a new release date from prison, which resulted in K Flock speaking out for the first time to the public as his appeals were accepted.
Flock here. Been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though. Make my first official statement about it. I want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers. I want to thank everyone who was involved in my trial, especially the judge who made sure I was treated with respect throughout the process. I have to thank my lawyer, Michael Ashley, no cap, for not giving up on me and putting up a fight, even though we still fighting because it ain't over till Allah says over. I want to thank every one of my fans and supporters. I love y'all, everything to the chin, nothing to the heart. And my spirits and faith is high as they ever been, and I pray everyone out there is at peace and feel positive too.
This made K Flock extremely excited that he even started hitting up New York City jewelers about having a new chain made, reading, K Flock has a chain waiting for him when he touches down. Only a matter of time for the GOAT to return to the city, alongside footage of his new VVS diamond chain waiting for him at the jeweler. All of this combined seemed to anger fellow inmates in his cell block who will never get out of prison. Investigators wrote, after great news for K Flock and his case got announced, roughly 48 hours later the rapper would be targeted by inmates at the Florence High Security Prison, getting the attention of Bobby, who was
Like I don't understand like why these rappers first thing when they just get his damn chain, bro. Take that money and invest that shit, buy some land, property and stuff, stock up. Or just blow all your money on these chains and stuff, man. You're like slave to that shit, bro.
share his thoughts on the case and K Flock's situation.
What's it like for you watching the K Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, so I like that. That's my guy.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wishing him the best right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, for the alleged charges they putting on him, you know what I'm saying, I'm wishing his family the best. I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything. You know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of future brightness. He got, and I hope, you know what I'm saying.
That would be a sad story if that's the end of it.
However, this situation will help K Flock get released from jail even sooner. But to understand when, it's important to know his prison sentence revolves around a man named Dougie in the streets who snitched on Flock during trial. It was announced K Flock reportedly used a firearm against someone who used one against his friend in 2020. Today, that friend testified against him. The snitch's name is Brockington, otherwise known on the street as Dougie. Dougie was arrested for selling and took a plea deal to throw K Flock under the rug. Dougie testified he was hit by one person, and K Flock came to his defense and got the guy back with his own firearm. K Flock defended Dougie just for him to turn around and snitch on him years later. With Dougie in court, the prosecutors asked him, after you got hit, who called you in the hospital? Dougie answered. Flock called. He said, you know we got you, bro. The prosecutors confirmed KK referred to K Flock and continued with Dougie saying yes, he was going to retaliate against whoever hit me. The prosecutors asked him to admit it by asking, Flock hit them up in retaliation for you? Dougie said yes, and that someone got grazed during the altercation. Dougie continued.
I'm telling you, man, if K Flock, if I bet he's regretting doing that bullshit, man. If he was out the whole time, dude be making hit songs, making insane amount of money, bro. It's messed up, dude. Fucked up his life.
Saying how Flock had a firearm on him and was on a call with rival members who were circling their block. This is why tensions were so high for K Flock whenever he was walking around the streets of New York. Even Flock's close friend B Love had this to say on it.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after K Flock got locked up. In our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, people Especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
Yeah. While his friend did snitch on him in a legal way, this helps K Flock because it proves he always had a firearm on him. I know it sounds backwards, but let me explain. The evidence file reads, the prosecutors put in a letter saying, it could be misunderstood to mean the jury must determine whether the defendant with his idiosyncrasies believed Oscar was about to use physical force. The main reason why they're taking in K Flock's idiosyncrasies is very important. Taking them into account basically means they're looking at all the charges from Flock's personal perspective, as they'll take into account that all K Flock's known his whole life is living in the streets and being around constant crime. Growing up in a rough neighborhood his entire life, he always needed a firearm on him to protect himself, regardless if it was legal or not. That's likely why Flock was so quick to act on Oscar Hernandez outside a barbershop, because he saw him reaching, and Flock wanted to defend himself. This type of situation has been K Flock's reality for his entire life, being stuck in the streets. The appeal that Flock's lawyer submitted to have his case reviewed was accepted, meaning K Flock could be home before we know it, getting the attention of Top 5, who would call K Flock with the great news.
Talk to them, Flock. Talk to them, my dog. Soon come home, man. You got these little boys walking around with no jewels, Flock. They need you. They need you, Flock. I'm coming,
This resulted in a viral tweet reading, K Flock is really about to get released because he grew up in the hood. Rap money is different, man. Bro might be getting out sooner than we think because he can submit unlimited appeals. But to know if K Flock is truly guilty, it's important to read the evidence files from his case with updates that you wouldn't believe. On December 23rd, 2021, K Flock was seen walking down the sidewalk with an individual. He's wearing a blue coat, shiesty mask, and designer jeans. But as he walks past a barbershop on his ops block, someone from inside recognizes him. As Oscar Hernandez pops out of the barbershop and yelled at K Flock saying, "What are you looking at?" Flock responds back wondering why someone's yelling at him when he did nothing, and they continue arguing back and forth on the sidewalk. But Flock decided he had enough and decided to walk off, but Oscar continues following him. Footage from the scene even shows Oscar reaching into his jacket at one point, which is what made K Flock fear for his life. In a quick reaction, Flock pulled out his firearm and hit Oscar multiple times. Oscar tried getting back to the barbershop, but he didn't make it. Within minutes, police and paramedics were on scene to help with Oscar, but Flock was already gone. All that remained on the scene were Oscar's slides he had been wearing and shell casings from Flock's firearm. With their suspect on the run, the police quickly turned to the public for help as they posted the security camera video showing the suspect and asking if anyone knew who that was. This is where Flock's viral following in New York worked against him, because many people instantly realized it was Flock from an Instagram video he took earlier that day wearing the same jacket. They quickly sent out a warrant for his arrest the day after the incident, and to many people's surprise, he turned himself in. He hired one of New York's best lawyers within the 24-hour period after the crime was done, and they took him to the police station once his warrant went out. Flock's lawyer wrote a statement as they did it by saying, "I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives in the 30th precinct. Arrangements were immediately made with the police once I learned he was wanted. As to the charges against him, we have begun our investigation into these allegations. We will address bail once we have had a chance to review the case and further investigate the DA's noteworthy disclosure." His lawyer later did an interview saying that Flock acted 100% in self-defense.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. We consider that to be self-defense.
So he did take him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case,
Okay.
but the government claims that he pulled the. But at the same time, the person that was on the ground had his hand on a illegal loaded.
Okay.
Crazy is the Oscar case is what put K Flock in jail, but he ultimately beat that case. The only reason he's still in lockup is because the feds put down RICO charges on him while he was locked up for the Oscar case. With it reporting, K Flock was indicted by a federal grand jury for multiple new racketeering conspiracy charges. This had creators reacting, saying that it was over for K Flock once he caught the RICO charge. Even academics wrote, "Feds just unsealed an indictment on K Flock for a RICO charge. The mandatory minimum, if he doesn't beat those charges or snitch, is life in prison." Flock's lawyers couldn't believe they used the Oscar case to catch Flock on a RICO, and they responded saying, "We're not surprised by the federal charges, as we've been fighting Kevin's state charges for over a year now. Considering the incident was a clear act of self-defense, it wasn't a strong charge. But the fact it's now being used as a basis for a penalty charge is extraordinary. It's crystal clear on video that Kevin was about to be affected after attempting to walk away from the other person. Only then did Kevin use an item to defend himself and his sister from the armed member who was about to pull out a firearm from his pocket." As is
Tell me what you guys think about the situation. What would you do if you was in K-Flock situation, man? Comment down below, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next video. Peace out.